Hey everybody, it's good to see you again. I am back. I've missed seeing you over the last couple of weeks, and the family and I were doing really well. This Sunday, we're going to be continuing our series on the fruit of the Spirit, and we're going to be looking at the concept of goodness. When we think of goodness, usually what we think are the good things that people do for us, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But really it has something more in mind with regard to personal integrity or completeness or wholeness. Similar to what happens in Genesis when God creates and he looks at something and he says it's good. It wasn't broken and fragmented. There wasn't a disconnection between our desires and our intentions and our actions. Everything was complete and together. Have you ever found that that's harder to find nowadays than maybe it was even 5-10 years ago? People who don't have brokenness in the sense of their desires and their actions, or maybe their motives aren't the best. It's like the old saying goes, when you lie to Congress, it's a crime, and when Congress lies to you, it's politics. It's like people just seem to be working on a different plane or a different level. But our integrity, or our lack of integrity, as I was thinking about it, is a lot like a jigsaw puzzle. When we lack integrity, we cannot get a clear picture of what we're looking at or even dealing with. And you think of one of those 1,000-piece puzzles where the pieces are just scattered all over the table. It's something that has to be put back together. However, once the puzzle is complete and it is together, then you can see the puzzle for what the puzzle really is. That's the problem when people lack integrity. It's hard for them to see what's actually in the puzzle of your life. David had some thoughts about this as well in Psalm 15. He opens up with a question about our experience in fellowship of God and how we can continue to have a deep and intimate relationship with God day to day. And the answer that he gives is this. He says, "He who walks with integrity and works righteousness and speaks truth in his heart, he does not slander with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a reprobate is despised, but who honors those who fear the Lord. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. He does not put out his money at interest. He does not take a bribe against the innocent." When you think of David, giving a reflection on what integrity looks like, there's really just 3 simple parts for him. More to be said, but 3 parts. One is it's a person who works righteousness. Our dealings are to be honest, our activities are to be clear, and without any compromise. We're to obey the laws of the land, let God guide our every day and every decision. That's what it means to work righteousness. He also says that he speaks truth in his heart. Did you notice that it's in his heart? This is how you think. It's how I think. The truth mentioned here regards your attitudes, your reactions, your plans, and your motives, the things that are inside of your mind. And the source of these things, David says, is your heart. It's to be a bedrock of truth so that everything that is in you is true, so that everything that comes out of you is also the truth. And the third characteristic he gives of a person of integrity is that they do not slander with their tongue. Okay, now that one's tough, and especially when people are annoying or aggravating or not believing the same things that you believe. And it's not hard to find that, is it? Those characteristics have to do, obviously, with what we say. I was thinking about this some time ago. Wendy and I have used this from years back and to help guide us in how it is that we speak, or hopefully we speak to others. And I learned this from Chuck Swindoll. Maybe this is something that will help you. He says there should be 4 gates to your mouth. Here's gate number 1. Is what is spoken of confidential? If so, don't ever mention it, ever. Gate number 2, is what you're going to be saying true? Now, by the way, that might take some investigation. You may think it is true. You may believe it is true. You may feel that it's true. May not be true. Do your homework. Gate number 3, is what you're about to say really necessary? Have you ever looked at the things that you've said and thought, I have so many useless and wasted words? Well, you wish you could reel those things back in, but once it's cast out, it's too late and the damage is done. Is what I'm about to say, is it really necessary? And then gate number 4, is it kind? Does it serve a wholesome purpose? And is it going to build other people up? There was some studies that were done some years ago on integrity. Harvard Business Review came out with it. A couple of things I want to end with today. What they found was this. When it comes to people that lack integrity, this is the other side. Here are the things that they found. They typically they'll do the right thing when they have an audience. Integrity, when you think about it, is usually defined as doing the right thing even when nobody is looking. But a person who lacks integrity is going to make decisions based on how it's going to make them look. maybe on and how it's going to benefit others, but they look at their actions as a performance that's to be rated for approval rather than a step in the right direction for the community, or honestly, just doing the right thing because it's the right thing. That was one. Here's a second. People that lack integrity, they don't care about little compromises. And this was proved by a study that Harvard did. They found that people who lack integrity are likely to rationalize their conduct if it isn't presented as an abrupt change. Abrupt changes, that was too much. But if they can slowly kind of get a person there, it was a little different. What they found is if they could get a person to cheat a little bit the first time, they'd be willing to cheat a little bit more the second time, and then finally the third time, they were willing to cheat big. That's usually what happens when we lose our integrity. It's not something that we jump to the big first. It's in the small compromises that we make in the everyday. So what did David say? David said a person that's going to experience God is the person who is upright, a person who is complete, a person who isn't fragmented in their spiritual life. They walk in righteousness, they speak the truth in their heart, and they don't slander with their tongue. Those are some things worth thinking about today, my friends. Hey, I hope to see you on Sunday. More to go on the issue of goodness and integrity. Until then, God bless. Have a great week.